So apparently, Disney's live-action Snow White has tested really, really well. Press X the doubt on that, but okay. Or maybe they just tested it on, people that live in San Francisco. Maybe, with an unruly bias towards these things. But we've got a bit of a wide report here. Snow White, the test screenings, we'll talk about that. And apparently Disney's just insane desire to keep pumping out these live-action remakes, which, look, on face value, actually makes sense. Why? Because some of them have made over $1 billion. But that's when they weren't changing things. Now is slightly different. They've begun changing things and they don't make as much money. So I do wonder if this is a sign of them trying to move things forward and then go back to their old way of not changing things so much. So let's take a look, shall we? This is the Diz Insider. Terrible name, but still. Let's take a look. They actually list them. So Alice in Wonderland, $1 billion apparently. Beauty and the Beast, $1 billion. Aladdin, $1 billion. Lion King, $1 billion. And then it started to go downhill, like Mulan didn't do very well. Little Mermaid obviously did terribly. And then they started changing things more and more. Snow White, I can't imagine is going to do particularly well. But here's what they say. So Snow White, directed by Mark Webb, from a screenplay by Greta Gerwig and Erin Cressida Wilson, co-produced by Walt Disney Pictures and Mark Platt Productions. It is a live-action remake of Walt Disney's 1937 first animated feature film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which itself is loosely based on the 1812 fairy tale of the same title from the Brothers Grimm. Obviously, Rachel Zegler, we know her, weird. So, obviously, lots of controversy surrounding this individual. More specifically, whether she's going to be replaced. Sources have apparently consistently told the Disney Insider that is not true. She's not going to be replaced. The film has apparently had some test screenings, which I'm not aware of, didn't know this was a thing, but hey, they've had test screenings. And apparently it scored really well. People who had been at the test screenings have told the Diz Insider that Zegler and Godot are wonderful. There's no quotes here, though, by the way, guys, so I don't know what is being interpreted versus what they're just saying, or the direct quote. So Rachel and Godot apparently wonderful. Should be noted, the film is slated for March 24 release. Reshoots were happening prior to the strike, and it's not 100% completed, so they're still going to go down with that, obviously. And then there's this one, Mufasa. So on that one, right, let's talk about this Snow White situation for now. There's no quotes for what was said, so I'm not really going to believe much of this. I can believe that people in attendance may have liked it because they might have been pretty selective. This could have been an in-house screening. If it's an in-house screening, do you remember Justice League? That was an in-house screening. It came out, people were like, yeah, it was a rapturous round of applause. Yeah, from people that worked at Warner Brothers. This could just be people that work at Disney. I don't know whether this is test screened broadly and it's actually members of the public. So I'm not going to believe this just yet. We need to know a little bit more about that. And, by and large, it just looks like shit. So, Mufasa the Lion King dominated at the box office, which it really did. Jon Favreau is not working on this one. So, this is Mufasa the Lion King, right? I don't really understand. This is a prequel to The Lion King. Really odd. I don't really know why they're making a prequel at all. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the appeal to this. All right, whatever. So apparently reports indicate that the project would have a story centered on Mufasa during his formative years, with additional scenes focusing on the events after the first film, comparing the movie to a similar structure as The Godfather Part 2. The film will not be a remake of The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. the direct-to-video sequel to the original animated film. Well, no, because it's a prequel, obviously. Apparently, this was all seen... So they're making Mufasa like an orphan? Odd. During the D23 Expo, Mufasa was an orphan cub. Okay, alright. So Rafiki and Timon will tell stories about Mufasa's past and his way to becoming king. This might be interesting, I guess. It does reek of creative bankruptcy, but fine. For those that didn't know, Moana, that quite recent film, is now being put straight to live action. Less than 7 years ago, guys. Less than 7 years ago this film came out. Don't really see the appeal there. I think that's quite pathetic, but fine. Lilo and Stitch, they're making that live action, which I think is okay then. And then apparently they're going to butcher Hercules as well. I quite liked Hercules back in the day. So Guy Ritchie, who directed Disney's billion-dollar hit remake of Aladdin, will be working on Hercules apparently, which, that's quite positive. But I can't imagine it's going to be particularly great. You're not going to let Guy Ritchie be Guy Ritchie, are you? Let's be honest. So there's no plot as of yet, but largely it's probably going to follow the animated original film, which follows Hercules, the demigod, who needs to learn to become a true hero in order to earn back his godhood and place in Mount Olympus, while Hades plots his downfall. So a little over a year ago, apparently the studio wanted to work with superstar Ariana Grande, who would fit the role of Hercules' love interest Meg. Grande has been busy with Universal on their 2 Wicked movies. So as for the titular character, Hercules, apparently Michael B. Jordan? Yeah, because he looks Grecian, doesn't he? Fucking hell, guys. Unbelievable. And apparently Taron Egerton, who again doesn't look Grecian, not remotely Mediterranean in look. Fucking, what are you doing, Disney? God, what a joke. Ariana Grande, at the very least, has a somewhat brown complexion. But you can't have a black Hercules. Like, what are you doing? I know loads of people go, you're racist. No. Hercules, Grecian, should at least look Grecian. If that logic is lost on you, I don't know, kill yourself, I guess. Jokes, obviously don't do that. So Disney typically doesn't bring talent from the animated projects into their live action remakes. However, James Earl Jones was obviously in Lion King, blah, blah, blah. I just don't... Danny DeVito has expressed that he wants to return as Phil. Obviously he was in that, saying, if they don't put me in that, they don't have a hair on there. I am the live action Hercules. Let me die. So apparently nothing's confirmed, but apparently there is an expectation that DeVito will be back as Phil, which is pretty cool. Bambi's happening, and then there's other Disney remakes. Apparently Sword in the Stone is being remade. Aristocats, sorry. That's happening as well. There's apparently another Robin Hood. Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Frozen, Tarzan. They're apparently all getting the treatment as well. This is just, god damn. So press X the doubt on Snow White test screening reactions. I think that's massive cope and lies. A fucking Lion King prequel and apparently a Black Hercules. God, we are truly in the golden era of filmmaking, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen?